Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Thank you so much for joining me for another planty video. So today I'm going to be repotting my giant philodendron silver sword. I almost forgot what it was called there for a moment. My giant philodendron silver sword slash philodendron hastatum, one of my favorite plants ever. I recently did a video all about finding this plant at my local Home Depot, bringing it home, cleaning it up, the whole thing. However, I did show and mention that it was still in a really like dense, just kind of like gross potting mix, and I've been meaning to repot this thing. So I have gone out and purchased a 12-inch terracotta pot that I'm hoping is gonna work to pot this thing into. I have no idea what the root situation is gonna be once we unpot this bad boy. And I also went ahead and got a plant stand. I don't know if you can see it behind me on the couch there, because I want to elevate it a little bit. I got that suggestion from one of you in the comments. I think it's gonna look a lot better, and just it might make it a little easier to manage because some of the leaves are just really going like down towards the floor and getting caught in my cabinet door and stuff like that. I'll show you guys what the plant looks like now, and then I guess I'll just get set up for the repot. Okay, so this is her right now. She is kind of like leaning forward, I feel, towards the light. Like you can see there's actually two grow lights here right now. I just recently moved that one, but she's really kind of like growing forwards rather than up. So I'm thinking that I might use one of my Trefolia moss poles to stake her. I was saving that pole for something else, but that other plant is too small anyway, so I think I might as well just go ahead and use it for this one. So that's going to be interesting because there's just so many different vines going on in this plant, and they're also really mature and thick. Like, yeah, this is a large plant, and I'm also doing this by myself, so it's going to be an interesting one. Just look at her leaves though. She is so pretty. I cannot believe the size of them and just how good she looks. She's so dense, so full. If you haven't seen my original video on getting this plant, I recommend you go watch that. But then come back to this video, of course. And this is the stand that I was just telling you about. It's just a bamboo and like metal stand, pretty basic. I just got this at Canadian Tire. I know, I am always just at Canadian Tire, aren't I? Anyways, yeah, I think that this is gonna work really well, so I am just gonna get everything ready. I guess we'll do this on the kitchen floor. That's like the most space I have, and we are going to need space. It's a little tricky to get the whole thing in the frame, but we are just going to do our best. So I've laid out two potting mats. The plant is sitting on one right now, and then I'm just gonna have this one beside it. This is the moss pole that I was talking about from Trefolia. So I'm gonna use that. They have like a new base that looks really sturdy, so I really like that. I just popped it on, just boop. Really nervous, you guys. I do not know how this is gonna go. A little stressed that I'm gonna be breaking leaves off and stuff, but I'm gonna try to be as gentle as possible. It's just hard when you're just one person doing this. So I definitely recommend, if you have a friend or a partner or someone to help you out in repotting a really large plant like this, I would definitely do it. Took me a few minutes to get all set up here. I did take some photos and make a couple TikToks and reels with this plant because I just like to do that whenever I move it, because most of the time it's just in its spot and it doesn't really move. So, okay, I'm stalling now. Why am I sitting? This is not a sitting project. Oh, I see the bloom that died off. It's just, ew, it's weird. Oh, it just like fell off. That was the bloom that was on there. It just like fell off into the plant. Okay, so this plant is really facing one way because the grow light is in front of it, so the back doesn't really have a lot going on. So what I'm gonna do is lay out my potting mat, and then I'm going to tip it on its side this way and try to get it out of the pot. Okay. So I'm just gonna try to shimmy it out. Maybe I'll like squeeze this a bit, loosen it up. Oh, there's like plastic things like holding. Oh, there's like a little tiny stake in here. This is hilarious. I'll show you guys the stakes that are in here. They're just like not really doing anything, I don't think. I think it's just gonna have to be a messy project. Okay, this is working. Oh, the roots look healthy. So, tip for if you're doing this by yourself, just hold the pot in your legs and pull. Oh my gosh. Holy crow. Okay. Okay. Everybody stay calm. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, this root system, what the heck? There's like a second. Okay, this is actually really good. This is pretty much exactly how I was hoping the root system would look, because if it was completely root bound, it would be a lot harder for me to repot it into that terracotta pot. But there's really good roots, look healthy, but it's not like solid, so I'm still gonna be able to break this apart and kind of, you know, shape it. I don't know what I was thinking with these two potting mats. Like, I pretty much just poured all the dirt in between the two of them, so stupid. Whatever, I'm obviously gonna have to clean up after this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I sometimes do the silliest things and then just have the audacity to put it on YouTube and share it with the world, so please don't make fun of me. Okay, maybe I'll show you guys a close-up of what I'm seeing here. Okay, so that is what the roots look like. Really good, really happy with that. This is what I was saying, there's like plastic things like holding some of the vines, and then there's also just like these little stakes. They're just like tiny little wooden, there's a couple of them, I saw another one somewhere too, but they're not even really doing anything, so kind of silly. But yeah, that's what we are working with. Okay, so now this is the fun part. I'm just going to gently break apart the roots. Like I said, I've got my pot here. I have my soil mix already. This is just a mixture of the Crystal Star Nursery Tropical Soil Mix and the Miracle Grow Cactus and Succulent, because I just had that to use up. And I wanted to mix something a little bit more dense in with the Crystal Star one, because that one is just so chunky and I don't want to have to be watering this plant all the time. It's just so big and kind of a procedure, so I wanted to hold on to water a little bit longer. By the way, speaking of watering, I have only watered this plant once since I've had it. How crazy is that? I've had it for probably, oh my gosh, like coming up to 2 months now? Maybe between 6 and 8 weeks? That's just how dense this substrate is that it's in. I don't even know what this is. Probably like peat moss. Yeah, it's still moist from the last time I watered it. It's crazy. So I'm gonna feel a lot better once this is in a chunkier mix. I'm gonna try not to go too crazy here, but I do need to be able to fit the moss pole into the pot as well. And we're gonna have to navigate that, how I'm going to attach this plant to it and everything. Luckily, these are really tough plants, so I'm not really worried about stressing it out too much by doing this. I think it's gonna be just fine. And I guess I'm just gonna have it on one side of the pot. I think that's gonna be easiest. There's no way I'm gonna be able to have it like in the middle or anything like that. I just realized that since I had ordered this moss pole for a different plant, the moss was way lower on here. It was like down to, there's a line, it was down to here. So I just filled this with water so that the moss would become moist and like malleable. And then I flipped it upside down and I just pushed the moss up. So now it's not gonna be sitting in the pot. I just want it to be at like just above the top of the potting mix. So I just did that quickly. Now I'm just going to continue here, working on my root system. Okay, now this is a little unstable because it's heavy since it's moist now. Okay, I think I'm just gonna lift this, put it in, and see if it will work, or if I need to keep keep messing with the roots. I need to figure out which is the front of this plant too. Hard to tell when it's down like this. Okay, so I think that the front is like this. Okay. Oh boy. I think we still have some work to do. Oh man. Okay, we might have to scrap the moss pole. I don't know if it's gonna fit in this pot with a moss pole. That was kind of a last minute addition, but I would like to be able to stake this up somehow. Maybe I'll have to go with bamboo stakes. Let me just set this in. Oh my gosh, it literally like barely fits even without the moss pole. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I am honestly like questioning everything right now. Do I need to go out and get a bigger pot? I don't know where I can find a bigger terracotta pot. Oh boy. Okay, I was just about to leave Lowe's and say that it was a bust, but I decided to look in the like patio furniture kind of section. I checked the plant section, the indoor plant section, I checked the garden center. There was like nothing for pots. Very minimal, nothing really for big pots, very limited terracotta. So I decided to check the patio furniture section inside on my way out, and there was a bunch more large pots, more for like outdoor planting obviously, but I found one that I think might work. It's plastic, but it actually looks pretty decent, like as far as these big plastic like patio planters go, and you can punch the holes out in the bottom. It's like kind of a dusty pink color. This was the best one there, in my opinion. So I got this one. This is a 14-inch pot, so I think it should work. Honestly, it might be better to have it in plastic too, just because it's more lightweight for when I need to move the plant and things like that. Like if it was in terracotta, yeah, it might just make things a little easier to have it in the plastic. So I was gonna check Walmart on my way back, but there's really nothing ever at my Walmart here, so I think I might just use this one and go home. It was $30, which is kind of expensive, but this is really my only option. I know that there's nothing else at Canadian Tire because I was just there earlier today, like I said. So I'm just gonna head home. They did have some really good plants in here though. I noticed that we're now getting the big squammies, which is really exciting. And they also had some really gorgeous Raven ZZs. There was Syndapsis Trubii Moonlight, Calathea Mosaica. What else? There was a whole bunch. There was some really cool Euphorbia. So yeah, it was kind of fun to see those, but it's super hot. I'm gonna drive home right now and then we will resume our repotting. Okay, I'm back. We are going to finish this. So this is the new pot. I'll show you the size comparison next to the terracotta that we were gonna use. It's quite a bit bigger. So I'm going to put this pole. Hopefully we can work the pole with this. I don't know though, because the pot kind of is like tapered, you know what I mean? And this needs to sit on the bottom. I mean, maybe I could put it higher up. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, I'm gonna try to put the plant in with the pole. Okay, I think this might work, but I need to put more dirt, more soil. Oh, this poor plant. I'm gonna put more soil and I'm gonna put this a little bit on top of the soil. I just moved the camera so that you can hopefully see. Okay, so I think that this is actually going to work. I just need to fill up the rest of the pot with soil and then attach this to the pole. probably gonna have to mix up more of my potting mix too. I'm really glad that this is gonna work in this pot though. Thank goodness. I was getting mildly concerned. I'm gonna need a lot more potting mix. This is already looking so much better. I'm gonna quickly whip up some more of my potting mix, fill this up, and then I will turn the camera back on when I'm figuring out the staking situation. Okay, so now I have these different vines. There's a few of them in here. So I'm just gonna pick each of them up and then try to fasten them around the moss pole as best as I can. They're shaped kind of funky, so I'm just gonna do my best. I don't know. This is gonna be more so of a like staking situation. Like these big vines, I don't think that they're gonna grow into the moss pole. I mean, I guess maybe they could, but I just want something that's gonna offer good support, which is why I wanted to use a moss pole. And I do also have an extension for this one as well if I need it or when I need it or whatever. Okay, there's these little bamboo. I'm gonna take these out. Like, look at these skimpy little skewers that they had in there, literally doing nothing. Okay, so I really only attached the two thickest vines towards the back of the plant to the moss pole here, and then the other two, there's weird having it all attached to the pole, so these ones can stay out and they'll just kind of like fill out the front, and then those ones in the back can kind of stay up, and then as this grows I can just kind of use plant velcro or twine or whatever to just keep everything kind of together. This is just going to be a shape as we go project. So yeah, this is what it's looking like right now. Really bushy at this part here. I am going to put this in the shower, rinse it off. The pot is going to need a rinse as well. It's got a lot of dirt around there. Give her a good water, and then we will try to set her up on that plant stand. Oh my gosh, this thing is so heavy now. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna need to pull that out a bit. There we go. That's not bad. Okay, so here is the final result. I think that this looks really good. I love the different heights of plants that I have going on here. That was such a great suggestion. Whoever left that comment, thank you. And I actually really like the pink pot. I just think that it looks really cute with the kind of bluey silver foliage. As you can see, she is facing up a little bit more rather than the like crawling towards the light kind of look. So she's a little bit more compact, a little bit more together. Really happy with how this looks. So she's going to be getting light from the window, the grow lights here, I guess maybe some light from this one right here. And then also right across from her is a west facing window. Not a ton of light comes out of that, it's pretty small, but she is getting some ambient lighting from both of those windows. The light really shines into that spot during the fall and spring when the sun is lower in the sky, and the winter too, but there's just not a ton of sun in the winter in general here. Anyways, I guess that's it. She is looking so good. Ignore my empty Wally Grow planter. I need to address that. I'm so happy with this though. Thank you so much for joining me along on this little repotting adventure. My goodness, that was quite the doozy. If you have any questions about this plant or about anything that I did in this video, leave them down below in the comment section. I will do my best to get back to you. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this video if you liked it. It really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!